Alright then, so today's horrific release is MaXXXine, directed by Ty West, and the third film in the X trilogy.
And
In
now
1980s Hollywood.
the end of the X saga.
But it nearly wasn't.
I know, that's good for him for calling it quits before he got any worse.
Yeah, the dead horse is beaten, but in 1980s Hollywood, adult film star and aspiring actress Maxine Minx finally gets her big break. But as a mysterious killer, not so mysterious, stalks the starlets of Hollywood, a trail of blood threatens to reveal her sinister past.
Yep, that was pretty much it.
I didn't hate it.
I
Didn't love it.
Yeah, I liked it. It's still, I'm like, my all-time favorite Ty West movie is The Innkeepers, and I really don't think anything's going to change that. So I mean, yeah, I'm a little biased when it comes to his work because I always compare it to that, which, probably not fair, but yeah, this was not terrible. I didn't really care for X. That was a pretty okay movie. I watched it once and then was like, yeah, okay, I don't need to watch that again. Pearl, like we were talking about before we got on, I can respect it. I'll never watch that shit again. I didn't like it at all. This was Ty West attempting to do a giallo / true crime movie. And it didn't quite land, but I didn't hate it.
What I don't understand at the moment are once again the rabid, foaming at the mouth X trilogy fans.
Yeah, Mia Goth is terrible, man. Like, she is a terrible one-note fucking actor, and I don't understand the sycophants for her, like, at all.
Not even her, but I mean this trilogy that they're proper foaming at the mouth over it, and I just look at it and go, huh?
Yeah.
Is it a young people thing?
Fucking maybe.
Like, and this is what I'm talking about. People are putting their entire personalities into a fandom, as in a movie or series of movies, and they leave nothing out. I mean, there's no room for criticism or anything. It becomes their entire world.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. I'm a fan of stuff. And especially recently, I've kind of disconnected. I don't see the point in emotionally holding on to something because someone's coming along to screw it up anyway.
Right.
And if something does have a built-in fan base, well, it's on the radar to get rehashed, remade because the corporate machine is creatively bankrupt. But these are not game-changing movies. They're not even what I would call fun movies.
No, I mean, this one, I will say this was probably more fun than the other two.
Yeah.
Especially with the amount of gore. Like, and just how brutal shit is. I mean, there was a lot of laughing on my end when I was watching this, and that's
was that unintentional comedy?
Well, it's my sense of humor.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll get into it, but the bacon wrapped squish kebab, I was laughing my ass off over that shit.
There's moments of gap, but I honestly think he was trying to be serious. That's the thing.
I don't know, man. You set up that the bad guy is a leather glove wearing weirdo that hides in the shadows. You can't take it serious at that point.
Yeah, basically we'll get into that, but we'll start off with this strange video of young Maxine.
That was the most uncomfortable part of the movie. More so than the fucking everything else.
Yeah, so she's doing like a dance or something for like a holy roller thing. This is obviously set in the 80s, and oh god. Anyway, you daddy's little girl type thing, acting. Something's went on there, and then all of a sudden everything else makes sense.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh god, no.
Yeah, man, you just know that dad is extremely inappropriate.
Yeah, that's the setup and the telegraphing of what the entire plot of this is. Then she's going for an audition, and this is the weirdest thing ever. I know it's a camera shot, but the whole setup's ridiculous of the big doors going.
What, you don't think that they have auditions in a fucking air hanger? Come on now.
They don't have side doors.
They do.
The built-in little looking, somebody can open it. You don't need the big dramatic fucking.
Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, far be it from me to argue. I've never auditioned for anything because, frankly, anytime that I've worked on any sort of movie, I don't want to be in front of the camera because fuck that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I find it very hard to believe that they're going to do that in a fucking air hanger.
Yeah. Well, I have been in air hangers, and you don't have to open big main doors all the time. There's side doors.
Seems like a lot of work.
Yeah. Especially if they're doing it for you look when she steps outside, and they're going to do that every time. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's things that got to take me out of a movie. It might seem silly, but it doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, especially in your case where you've got experience with being in those fucking things.
Opening those doors is a pain in the arse. You pop in the side door, but even I don't know what they're trying to achieve. I know it was to get the shot, but this is where, is it an actual story, or is it just somebody going, look at me, I've got a camera, I'm going to take all these photogenic things movies and you're going to like them.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of movies has become now, and it's sad.
Yeah, I mean, it is a shame when people go for the cool looking shot versus the, makes sense shot. Unless that's what they're setting up, is this just, almost a visual poem. Sort of like Mandy. Like, Mandy, they could have nonsensical shots, but it makes sense in the context of the film. This is a traditional narrative, so it's like,
It was like when we watched Men, and she was doing that scene in the tunnel, and yeah, it was cool for about 5 seconds, and then it went on and on and on and on.
That was kind of my note here with her fucking audition. It's like, God damn it, come on, today, Junior. Like, let's act. Now, granted, that was the best acting I've seen Mia Goth ever do, but yeah, lot of space. Which is funny because it's like that's kind of Ty West's MO is, long drawn out scenes. It's the slow burn type of thing. But there was a lot of moments like that in this movie where it's just like, come on, pick up the fucking pace, man.
Yeah, that's the problem with artsy fartsy stuff. Artsy fartsy stuff remains in the realm of shorts, short movies, short features. There's only so much of it is sustainable, not a feature.
See, man, I don't know. I'm one of those douchebag, pretentious fuckers that can watch like artsy fartsy shit and just like eat up every second of it. But I don't know. This didn't have that, and like this movie felt like it was 3 hours fucking long, and it was. I think it was an hour and 40. Yeah. It was shorter than I think the other two, but it felt like it just kept going on and on and on.
It was Terrifier. It was a bit like Terrifier 2. You get the third act.
No, Terrifier 2 was 2.5 hours too long. Like that was an hour and a half too long.
But it felt like it.
Yeah. No, it definitely felt like it, yeah.
It felt like we're, in the third act of Terrifier 2. We're like, would you fucking resolve something, please?
Yeah.
Oh god. But yeah, that's the whole backdrop of this is the satanic panic. What a fun time to be alive.
Yeah, man, I'm glad I didn't have to deal with that shit, really.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. There's a devil worshiper hiding behind every bush. And you're
just because there actually was doesn't mean that we should ever go back to that.
No, that's not. No, the truth is that even when they talk about how the cults are supposed to work, the logistics didn't make sense.
No, of course not. None of it.
It would have to be like even dairy farms. Like it would have to be dairy farm level production to get the unborn babies for the weekly sacrifice, because basically according to them it was every fucking Saturday night, what I mean, there was a newborn baby getting birthed and you're like, how does that work?
Well, Colin, see, here's the problem. You are doing what the Christians didn't, and you're actually thinking and using your brain and common sense. You're not supposed to do that.
Okay.
Like, if you just shut this thing off, it all makes sense. Of course there's underground tunnels to, child traffic babies for sacrifice and shit, and it all makes sense if you don't think about it.
It's funny that we're basically living in the inverse of that today. You know what I mean? It's the same people, it's the same fucking stupidity, it's just the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
And I think when you've seen it before, like that's another thing I don't get as well, that people don't recognize the pattern. Like it's the same shit, it's just got a different label. People are dickheads. But oh god, that's another one of your gifts that you sent across the pond to us. We got the tail end of that. There was legit, honestly, social services were legit taking kids away from parents over nothing.
Dude, I have
court cases and all afterwards.
So my primary doctor, he was a cop during that time. There was I want to say it was like 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know if you remember, but Jana has like a little cutesy wootsy Baphomet on her arm, and it was one time we went in there and he saw it because it was like the one time it wasn't the middle of fucking winter. He saw that and he's like, "Ooh, you know what that means, right?" And then starts to go off about his experience as a cop during the Satanic Panic, and he's still convinced of that shit to this day. And it's like, dude, that was never real. The FBI has come out and said this was bullshit. Like, there is not a single lick of evidence that any of this ever existed, and there's still people out there that to this day believe otherwise. And it's like the blissful ignorance of the situation is just mind-boggling.
That's but if you understand why people don't like Christians and fell away from it, this is why. The Satanic Panic really turned people off. Like, and any sort of tolerance went out the window. This is where it all stems from.
Yeah.
It was horrendous. And if you were any sort of nerd, like if you liked horror movies, if you liked dark stuff, if you liked heavy metal, oh my god, you were going to get burned at the stake.
Or if you were a Jew.
That's never changed.
Yeah, I know. That's definitely nothing new.
It's just,
It's just like looking at all this shit that like the PMRC was labeling as satanic, and it's like, God, you guys are just outright Nazis, and people are cool with this. All right, I guess that's a thing.
yeah. There were not good times to live in.
No.
They weren't. It was crap. And as always, it's same as today. Picking the nerd. That's it.
I mean,
everything.
it's
We all
easy.
have picking nerds. And what's happening today? Picking the nerds. Funny how some things change, but others don't.
Yeah.
People are shit. That's why I always say to people, don't go. Take a step back. When you see that bandwagon trundling past, you know, and it looks really fun to jump onto, maybe don't.
Yeah.
Because it's dumb, and that bandwagon's gonna crash off a cliff.
Hopefully.
At some
Hopefully
point.
sooner rather than later.
And then someone's coming for you, and then the fucking pendulum swings back again, and boom, boom, on we go. Never changes. It's always tried. I've always tried to step back. I've always tried to choose my friendships carefully. Haven't always succeeded.
Happens to the
You
best
know,
of us.
but a mind of keep your circle small and try and at least have people. You don't have to agree 100% with everyone, but you have to have a common ground of we're not in this weird ideological thing of whatever it is, you know, whatever label it might take. Doesn't make sense. Anyway, so endeth my sermon again. No, that's the good thing about movies.
I just love how we're going from that to, you know, the next point of discussion is the porn.
Yeah. Oh, there's Shayon and Sibyl. Hey guys. Greetings. Oh, the poor guy. I bent their ear over the Crow movie. Guys had to listen to me bitching for an hour going, right, hit this movie.
Jesus Christ, man. I don't know how you did it. I'm going to watch it at some point just to say I did, but it's going to be a while down the road when it's streaming somewhere for free, because there's no way in hell I can waste my hard-earned money on that.
No, I was bullied into it.
By yourself.
No, by the sadistic audience will have. Bastards. That was half this. My review was calling everybody that asked me to do this, bastards.
I mean,
why do you make me do that?
That's fair. Like if it's true, it's true. You gotta call it how you see it.
Yeah, it was during the Wicked Prayer review. Oh, you gotta do the new one. You gotta complete the set. Fuck. Yeah.
Fuck that.
We'll see Maxine then going to her day job. I still to this day have never been to a strip club, and I'm never going to go. I've no interest.
That was funny enough. First date I ever went on with my wife. Went to a titty bar. It was either that or go to a Psychobilly concert, and unfortunately we weren't driving, so we lost. So we spent the night at a titty bar, playing pool and killing at least a bottle of Jaeger. It was a magical evening.
There you go, memorable. No, just like even when I lived in Edinburgh, like there's a whole strip of them. Like you go down to the centre of Edinburgh, and there's a teddy bar like every other store, like every other shop front. So there's about 12 of them in a row. Obviously London, there's loads of them. I used to pass one on the way to work, and I'm like, yeah, nah, I just don't feel the need.
Yeah, unless they have like a buffet or something. Like unless there's something real to entice me. Like last one I went to, I think they had like really good burgers or something. So I went with some friends, and you know they were all losing their money, and I'm sitting there shoving a fucking hamburger in my face. Yeah, that's it's pretty uneventful. I don't get them myself.
Yeah. I nearly worked on one actually when I was over your direction, because there was a job came up when it was kind of when I was going through my thing, and it was under the table, and I was going to take it, but more people weren't happy with that.
Yeah,
like,
damn you for making money.
I was like, work. I'll work. You know what I mean? I'll do anything, especially if it's making like burgers and fries and stuff. Why not? That's hard.
Yeah, that's such a terrible job.
Yeah, God, I'm on the zone working. That's it. I'm doing it. I don't get distracted.
Yeah, it's magical having a to B to C type of job. Like it's great. You don't have to use your brain. You just do. That's nice.
That's I don't get. But anyway, that was the closest I ever came to being in one. Like,
yeah, you're not missing much. I mean, it's just like I essentially grew up with a lot of strippers. You know, being in the industry that I'm in, and at the time frame that I was getting into it, it's like, or the stereotype was still a thing. Like my mentor was a straight up stereotype. Like he was a fucking stripper wife, stripper girlfriends. Like he lived the stereotypical tattoo artist lifestyle. So I was privy to that just by being around him at all times. And yeah, I got my fill of strippers way before I even went to my first like proper strip club. Yeah, not a fan.
That's when the veneer's off and you see the sort of reality. You're like, yeah,
Yeah, man, when you get a fucking drunk stripper preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ to you at 3 a.m, you know, it kind of turns you off at things.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, she's going through the strip club because the porn bit's at the back. She keeps her clothes on for this one. Maybe she's trying to raise her profile.
Yeah, we don't see anything. There's the it alludes to her pulling her tits out at the very beginning. So like, you know, audition's done. She just bears her entire soul. And then, okay, let's see her tits, make sure that they're good for the movie. Okay, you're good.
Which is funny.
The only time we see him is just the clip from X.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess she's classing things up or something.
Yeah, but like she threw everything out in the first one, and now she's like, "Oh, I'm famous now." Weird. I don't see her doing much. I think she's going to be one of them Instagram celebrities that get tagged in a lot of stuff.
She's the kind of actor that I think people are going to write parts specifically for her, and it's just going to be the same thing that we've seen every other time we've seen her on screen. She's like a Michael Caine style actor where there's no character, it's just Mia Goth with a different name.
And then this is where we meet the killer.
Yeah, that's when it was like, oh, okay, so Ty West is going to try to do a giallo? All right, let's see how this is. Like, there's just something so classic about the zip up fucking leather gloves. Only seeing that for the for a hot minute, it's like, all right, I can get behind this.
Yeah, it's almost like a parody at this point the way he does it, because the sound effects are a bit. Ooh.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, come on, like. Nobody watches a giallo thinking, oh, this is the best piece of film ever made. No, it's goofy fun. Like, one of my notes was during the chase scene at the end, like, that is straight up Tyler Bates recreating Goblin.
Yeah, but that is goofy fun, and you know you're in for the ride. This is trying to take itself seriously. That's where I'm having the disconnect in the old synopsis.
No, the films, like the Italian movies of the 70s and shit, like, they thought they were doing something serious. But through modern sensibility, it's, you know, you can't look at it seriously, so it's enjoyable on a different level than when it came out. So I think this is sticking with that, but I don't know. Like the only modern giallo that I've seen that I really felt worked within that genre, but also as a modern movie, was Last Night in Soho. Like, that movie was fucking.
Have you not seen Dark Glasses?
No, not yet. I want to make an event of it. Like, I need zero outside stimuli while it's going on, so everybody needs to be in bed. I need to have my headphones on so it can be cranked up and I'm listening to it like in full surround sound. Because I mean, it's a fucking Argento movie, and I am obsessed with Dario Argento. And well,
that's a fun movie.
I unfortunately have not had time to make it the event that I feel like it should be. So no, I haven't seen it yet.
Right, it's worth watching. It's
I believe it. It could be shit, and I'm probably still gonna love it just because.
No, it's actually genuinely fun.
I believe it,
and it does do the whole bonkers thing, you know. But once again, I watched that and I get a sense of what it's about. This, I feel like I just can't. It's in the back of my head watching it that it's trying to take itself too seriously. It's trying to be high art, and the fun aspect is sort of getting pushed to the back. If that makes sense, that's what
it also kind of feels like. It's, at least in the first 2 acts, it can't make up its mind on what kind of movie this is, and I think that was part of my issue with it, was trying to find the, you know, just like what it is, where it's gonna go. I mean, ultimately we know where it's gonna go, but I don't know. It just felt like it wasn't 100% sure of itself until the final act.
Yeah. So obviously, Mr. Killer goes into one of them boothy things, which I've never been to either, and yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, never been to an arcade, so
walking out sideways,
not doing that.
Well, the fucking spare guests you'd probably pick up.
Oh my god!
Like, do you drop the trousers completely as you knock one out, or I
just imagine that everything in that room is just covered in semen. Like, there's not enough bleach in the world to clean all of that.
You would smell it, wouldn't you? You'd be coming in there like, ooh, like that'd be right.
Yeah.
I don't think those places are like, no thanks.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of no.
Yeah, I'm good. But yeah, so we meet the killer and the fucking creaking sound effects of the gloves. It's like,
love that shit, man.
It starts off funny and then it just goes on and on and on. but 3 or 4 times, and it's like, oh, come on, you've done it already. Calm
Right,
down.
and then it ends with him ripping the piece of wood off the wall. It's like, was that supposed to be intimidating? Because I mean, you get the idea of a hidden character covered in leather to hide his identity. Like that's scary in and of itself. We don't need to show that. Oh, and he's gonna destroy things. Obviously, he's gonna fucking destroy her. We know. Duh.
This is, I mean, this is my issue with the movie. It's like, okay, dum-dums in the audience, we've got to telegraph us to you, it's like he doesn't know how to have fun, and he's read in a book what having fun is, and he's going, here, this bit's meant to be funny. Look at this, dumb audience. And that's, like I said, I just get that whole vibe. A lot of A24 movies, actually, I kind of get that bit of a vibe too, and it rubs me up the wrong way. As you know, like, I have opinions about things.
No, not you.
But yeah, then we got Maxine doing everything in the world she can to get accosted. Like, she may as well put a sign in her back going, pick me, pick me.
Right. Yeah, no, that was, I mean, everybody knows you never walk down a fucking dark alley at night, like, whoever you are, because you're going to get murdered. And yeah, that guy was a fucking dweeb. She didn't even need a fucking firearm to get rid of his ass. That shit was pretty funny.
And also the fact that, there's a serial killer on the boat, because this has been going on, bodies are being found. It's all right. I'm going to not just walk on my own, but I'm going to walk down the dark alley, and I'm going to just really make it obvious.
Right.
It's like, okay, I know we're getting set up for something here, but for fuck's sake, treat the audience with a bit of intelligence. This is what rubs me up the wrong way, because it's like he doesn't trust the audience to pick up on things.
Yeah, well, I mean, most modern audiences are fucking stupid, so.
Do they not want our money anymore? Is that what it is?
What's that?
Do they not want older people's money, or are they just going for the young dumb ones?
Well, I mean, there's more of them than us, so that would just stand to reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I've given up trying to figure it out. It doesn't make sense. Like, even when we were the young people, they tried. There's a sense of they're actually trying to let you have a good time. That seems to have completely gone now, and it's really, really sad. I don't know. I'm just, once again, over telegraphed. Right, we get it. You could just do it subtly, but no, you don't have to spell it out. You could have been grabbed into the alley or something. It was just.
Well, I mean, I get it. He was trying to set up the suspense of the moment. I mean, even so much that like she knows the person's there, she runs to the fence the whole time, knowing that she has a firearm on her. Like it's just trying to build up the suspense.
But it didn't work, because the minute she walked down an alley, you're like, here we go, gonna happen. The minute she did it, and the minute the thing was locked at the end, like I said, it's this telegraphing nonsense. You're not building suspense if there's nothing suspenseful. Like, when you're spelling it out, paint by numbers, this is A, it's going to go to B, and it's going to go to C. Like, you've lost it. But it was funny. And I think he was trying to be shocking, but he ended up making comedy instead.
I don't know. I cannot believe in any universe that somebody's going to have somebody step on someone else's balls and think that that's a serious scene. Like, that was fucking hilarious.
Squish.
Yeah, and it's just a shame that she was in heels versus like some proper boots. It's like a nice flat heeled, and you just
Big
get
romper
splatter.
stompers. 80s romper stompers would have done the job.
Yeah, man, that would have been far more satisfying than just a stiletto heel going through his ball sack. I mean, funny regardless. But yeah, that was probably one of the best scenes in the movie. Was dude getting stripped down, raped by a gun, and then smashing his balls.
I thought she was going to
do
a bit of a apology. I thought
Right.
something was going to get introduced. I thought that's the direction she was going.
Yeah, I thought that's where it was going too, but then it's like, well, I mean, she's got to take it home with her. I don't think she wants to smell that dude's asshole, so I guess it makes sense.
I honestly thought that's where it was going next.
Yeah, no, that's where it's setting up, and it would have been hilarious, but definitely better with the ball stomping.
Yeah, it worked. And then her other friend that went to a party. We meet these cultists, and somebody's got the camera. They're in the cupboard, and we get the first scene of how the girls are getting taken care of. And honestly, they may as well have had the Mormon freaking badge on. That's what
they looked pretty Mormon. But then again, I mean, that's I mean, most cults look the same anyways, unless they got special jammies and shit like the Mormons do, but those are under their clothes.
The magic underwear.
Yeah, you gotta love the magic underwear.
Oh god, man. Yeah. When I saw the two guys and the not the Mormon looks, and you go back to the first video, you see you connect the dots immediately. Like, it's, I don't know. He spoils his own movie. Like. Which I don't get it. And then we're doing the weird static camera thing. Camcorders were not that bad.
Dude,
they weren't that.
I've got all that. I can vouch that VHS quality is garbage. That looked great. Like, that looked real.
Not the bit at the end where it just randomly goes, as if to get the camera and go. it's like,
Oh.
once again, over telegraphed, because it starts off good and then it gets stupid, and that's where my problem is. Just once again, he sets up a good shot and then he overdoes it. It's like, calm down, mate. We get it. Even the dum dums would get it. It's how they could talk about it and look it up if they were confused and get it explained to them. Like I said, it was just another wee bit that was overdone. Could have been. I think it just needed a wee bit more subtlety with some of the references.
I don't know. It's fantasy, so whatever. It can be a little over the top. It didn't bother me at all.
Oh, well, okay. God, you're being pain in the arse today.
I know, it's almost like we don't agree on everything at all times.
I know, imagine that.
We can agree on the next thing, though. The fucking headcast. Gotta do that shit. I really need... I used to have a live cast. I don't know what the fuck happened to it, but I really need to do another one. That shit, you think it's gonna be terrifying initially because, like, literally everything's getting shut off. Like, your sense of hearing, seeing, you can't use your mouth. Only thing you have going on is just, like, your nostrils are exposed, so obviously you can breathe. It seems like it'd be terrifying, especially like someone like me. I'm claustrophobic as hell. It is so fucking relaxing. It's like 10-20 minutes of just being alone, like purely alone. It's beautiful.
I thought they put little tubey things to help.
I mean, you can. I've never done it, but whatever. Like, honestly, the alginate's pretty easy to manipulate. It dries pretty damn fast, so you can just stick a finger up someone's nose for like 5 seconds, pull it out, and it's solidified. So straws aren't 100% necessary.
Yeah, but even that just disappears. I'm going to leave you. It's like, do you not need something about?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, she said what she was doing, and it made sense. Because, I mean, like, literally, there's nothing you can do. It's just sit there, and you can watch it dry, or you can do something else.
Okay, and then it kind of gets overacted.
Yeah, I mean, it's me, goth, so... Yeah.
I'm sort of like, and how did it go? If it was hardening, why did it go all like gooey again?
That was my issue with it. Was it's like, dude, I've worked with alginate before. I mean, fuck, anybody that's gone to the dentist in the last little while has dealt with alginate. Like, it doesn't take that long to set up. There is no way in hell, like, unless she started freaking out within the first like 30 seconds before the person's even left the room, there's no way in hell it's gonna be that consistency. Like, seriously, that shit dries fast. Like, the part that takes the longest when doing stuff like that, it's the plaster of Paris bandages setting up. But for the sake of cinema, we're just gonna pretend that alginate doesn't dry ever.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the whole scene where she's on the ground and everything else, and it's glooping and all of the show, and you're kind of like, that's actually got worse than it started off. How long have you to sit there? Like 8 hours, according to that stuff. The way it's acting,
yeah,
it looks
it looked cool, but it didn't make any sense.
Once again, that's my issue with this movie. The things that should make sense, you ground the reality before accepting the fantastical. The things that shouldn't happen do happen, like opening big doors every time somebody's walking in. That's ridiculous. That would get old very quickly with 20 auditions. Things like that just take you out of it. There's other ways, like it could have been she had a fever dream and then she just woke up and she was exactly where she was. Fair enough, and nothing had changed. And she thought she was, feeling the hands and falling back, but then she came to and she was actually just sitting exactly where she was and things was dry. Why not do that?
Yeah, it just wouldn't make sense.
And you still would have had the effect of the dream sequence. This is where I'm sick of people doing this sort of stuff. It doesn't help. It ruins actually what you're trying to show. Sorry, do I expect too much of the world?
Yeah,
you're just laughing at me going,
I am, because it's like, man, that's a thing. That's a hell of a hill to die on. I just thought it looked weird, the fact that it didn't dry, but it didn't bother me.
But he's doing this all the way through the movie. You know what I mean?
It does. The thing is,
it's like a great of sand. If a bit of sand gets
in the Ty West movie. Like, this is the most Ty West version of an X film that we've gotten out of the trilogy. So it's like, I guess because of me appreciating his work and stuff, I understood what to expect. So none of this was a shock to me and didn't really take me out of the movie.
Yeah, that was it. And the more I'm thinking, this really should have been the second movie. I think that's another thing as well, because of the gap and throwing Pearl in there. Pearl should have been the third movie, the prequel. If they were doing another one, this should have just been a continuation. So that's kind of rubbing at the back of my head as well while watching this.
Yeah, well, we had this thing called COVID, and that kind of changed how the industry works. So yeah, I agree. This would have, the pacing would have been better, but I mean, it's practically speaking, it couldn't have happened.
Yeah, there's another bit of comedy that's actually obviously scripted in, which I did get and I did laugh at, was the fact that every crew member on set knows who MaXXXine is. Like all the actors now.
She's walking around with the monogrammed shirts, so It's like,
No, but I mean, the newer movies, like,
oh, yeah. No, that shit was hilarious. Yeah, everybody's like, oh, big fan. It's like, yep, that's awesome. Especially because this is a point in time when porn wasn't just like, oh, I'm going to see what's on the interwebs. Like, you had to go out of your way to find this kind of shit.
yeah, it was mail order magazines, and depended on the rating, whether you 100% legitimately got it, it really was like an underground thing. So for people to just go, yep, you're a star, fantastic. It shows how prevalent she was in the industry, which there's porn actors want to be Maxine Minx's level, if that makes sense, in porn alone, never mind anything else. So, like I said, that was funny. I enjoyed those little tidbits throughout, and everyone else was trying to look down their nose on her. Oh, what do you mean a porn actress in a horror movie?
Yeah, that's never been done before.
Yeah, no, that's not a thing at all, and it doesn't work. Come on.
Right.
Ah, God. So then we meet fucking Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was Kevin Bacon for the first couple of scenes. Or I guess the first scene specifically, like when he was talking to the client.
God, his character's a stereotype. Like, talk about the mold, PI mold, sleazy PI.
I dug it. He was probably one of my favorite characters in the movie.
It's almost like he was in a different movie. Like, his tone is completely different from the rest of the movie's tone. It's weird. So it turns out that the police don't gather evidence at murder scenes, even though it's been in the newspapers and stuff. So the video of Maxine, the movie she made, got into somebody else's hands. So the police never found it in a remote. Like, the killer wouldn't have followed her to there, because that wasn't known until the police reported it or found it. Don't get it. Help me here. Stop looking at judgment.
I don't understand that whole shit either. I just kind of, at this point in the movie, because we're like 20, 30 minutes in anyways, like I'd already checked out trying to keep any sort of logic.
Yeah, so it had to be the specific shots from the house where the events of X took place. That would have still been in the camera. The police would have nabbed it with everything else. So they would have come after her anyway. So this is meant to be set a couple of years afterwards, 3 years.
This was 10 years, I think.
10 years, right? Yeah. So, and all that time, once again, it's just a bit much. So she gets this videotape, shows her that, then she's told to go to this place for dinner or lunch or whatever, and then she meets this lazy PI who wants her to play a game because that's what his employer wants him to do. And it's like, this would have been strange, or if it hadn't been for the first scene, you kind of know where it's coming from. And the fact that they know who she really is, it's like, okay, we're going to do this. And this plot line goes on for ages. Like, it goes on and 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 on.
Pretty much.
That, honestly, that's like, okay, we get it.
It could have been an hour and 20, easy.
It wasn't really, I don't see what the point of it. I can see a killer fixating on her and then the reveal, but that's subplot. I don't know what it added to the movie.
I mean, it made sense in the way that cops are fucking idiots, and it was an easy way to get away with murdering people was to essentially pretend like it was Richard Ramirez doing all the murders. So
no, not that.
Or what?
Not that, but the bit of basically blackmailing Maxine.
Well, I mean, that's not a subplot. That's the main plot. Like, that's how you get her.
It feels like a subplot.
That's the catalyst to get her to essentially the bad guy. Otherwise, what's the point?
He could have backed the movie. There's other way. I just felt like it was a subplot within the movie of everything else going on, and I felt like it was wholly unnecessary. Like I said, just the fact
I'll completely disagree with that.
Killer was able to grab the video from the murder scene in a remote. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think I've given up at this point, trying to just go along the plot of this. It just feels really bloated and unnecessary and drags. Maybe it's a pacing thing as well.
There is a lot of fluff, and I mean, again, that's a Ty West thing.
Yeah, he shouldn't do slashers in, because this is trying to be a slasher, but it's not.
Not in any way, shape, or form. This isn't a slasher. Like, this is straight up like Ty West trying to make a giallo. That is 100% what it is.
It's not working. It's not working.
I'll definitely disagree.
Fine, you do that, big poopy pants. Ah, dear. Anyway, that goes on. Then we meet the killer again, and the leather creaks again. It was even longer this time. And you're like, really?
Yeah, I mean, you got to build the suspense somehow.
And then the PI knows him, or, while he's doing this stuff. And you're like, okay, this is fun. I don't know, I'm just not buying it. You can probably tell. I'm not buying what they're selling to me. It's almost like it's an intellectual, academic exercise they're carrying through and not actually making a movie. I feel like I'm watching a documentary of a movie. And here's this beat. Let's go through lesson 5. The killer kills someone and has an accomplice. Here we see the start of this. That's what this is feeling like. No?
No, Like I said, I'm not gonna agree with you on that. Like, there's a lot of weird shit in this it was definitely an interesting choice, but I feel like I watched a completely different movie than you did.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm just feeling the silent judgment there, Cameron. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, I
this
got
is
nothing
no
to add
setup.
to
I'm
it.
feeling that setup. You know what I mean? I'm feeling the silent judgmental
No,
stare
it's just
across the.
this description of it is dragging on like the movie did. Because I mean, that's the thing, is there's really not a whole lot going on in here. You get a lot of really long, pretty looking scenes that don't really add a whole lot to the movie. Like, I'm looking at the notes, it's like, fuck, yeah, there really wasn't much to this fucking movie.
Yeah, that's why it takes so long.
Yeah, that's
That's
again, that was my problem with the movie, was it did not need to be as long as it was. Because the thing is, it's like the money shots, as it were, like all the kills and shit where we actually saw the kills, there were just tiny little snippets. Like, I can understand a long movie if that shit's gonna be drawn the fuck out, because that's what we're there for. We're there to see, like when her buddy gets murdered. Like, that was a beautiful scene, but it was so short. And it's like, come on, show us more. Like, that's the fun shit.
And like I said, or just, showing the sleaziness of Hollywood, and that sort of her level where she's operating, getting grabbed in the alley and then doing it, getting pick up the pace. But it goes so fucking excruciatingly slow and all this detail. And then you're trying to go, what's it trying to do? And then, like I said, it feels like a documentary rather than a film. It really feels like they're going scene by scene. And this is what one of these scenes would look like. I'm always expecting Ty West to be there giving a commentary, appearing on camera. And this is what I'm trying to do with this. It feels like the documentary of the movie he's trying to make before he makes the movie.
That's funny.
It's just so fucking long and drawn out. And the bits that are fun are, like you said, they're the short bits, and they're over. Blink and you miss them. Like the whole ritual thing with the first two girls, like, it's over before it even starts.
I mean, that made sense though. Like, I feel, because it's kind of showing you what's to come without actually showing you everything. So, the theater of the mind makes what happened to them way worse than what they could show you on screen.
Like I said, it could have had a bit more screaming in the background when they actually go through the doors and stuff. It just cut, but he sacrifices that these huge long scenes of stuff and exposition and whatever, and then we have these two detectives she's already met and in Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, man, they were pretty bad.
Even the other two out of Beverly Hills Cop were better. Who you call them?
Never watched it.
All right, the two that when Axel Foley goes to meet them, they appear. Anyway, that they were more competent than these idiots.
Yeah, these guys, they just took the whole bad cop, good cop thing to a comic level.
And they switched. Like, I'm pretty sure that the pulling off the sheet thing is a big no-no.
I mean, that was the detective trying to fuck with Maxine, because she saw her there. This is after the first time they interviewed her, and they can see she's visibly freaking out. So it's like, oh, hey, let's see what we can get out of her. Check it out. Here's your dead buddy. Yeah, that's a definite no-no, but that was a power move on her end.
Yeah, once again, doing stuff like that, I'm just like, okay, yeah, here we go. And they were so cliched that you're like, okay, right. They're not solving the mystery. Maxine is.
Yeah, 100%.
And they're not going to do any investigating or, like, I don't know. Once again, it's so telegraphed. Here, dum-dums. Here's what I'm doing next. Can you see it? Here, you can't see it? Let me show you some more. Right, okay, thanks. Like, it's not showing the cleverness of the killer. It's showing the dumbness of the cops. Like, it's... Yeah, whatever. Anyway, and then she gets to the movie part and she's acting on it. And she's already late in her first day and stuff. And yeah, we didn't see that one coming, of course. And it carries on and on and on. And stuff happens.
Hey, at least she gets to meet the person from the first movie. That's something, I guess.
Yeah.
And by something, I mean that's just setting up another kill. But hey, whatever. That was pretty stupid. The whole, oh, I'm going to a party in the hills, and they have to like show that with everybody that dies. It's like, cool, we get it. That's
we know where we're going for the end of level fight.
Yeah.
And also the fact that Maxine, like, you may want to mention that, went to a party in the hills, okay, and they could have looked maybe, because obviously those invitations come from somewhere. Had the press. This could have been over like 20 minutes at least, or later, or whatever. I'm bored. The more I'm thinking about this movie, it's just nah. Like, I was ambivalent towards it. Now I'm actively disliking it, but I'm thinking about it.
See, I wouldn't buy this movie. I probably won't ever watch it again.
You're just defending it to annoy me. Just
not even remotely.
You're just going, haha, Colin hates this movie. I'm just going to wind him up.
No, not at all. This is I didn't hate this movie. I wouldn't buy it. I probably would never see it again. But it was okay. It was all right. Like, yes, there was a lot of it that's like, that's that's definitely a decision. And again, the runtime, it just felt so much longer than it needed to be. Again, it felt like it was fucking like 3 hours long, and it didn't need to feel that long.
No, that's my whole problem with this. It's just dragging out bits that don't need to be dragged out and losing the tension. Like you're saying, they're trying to build suspense, but they actively dismantles it in the same scene by taking so fucking long. And then those are the good bits are like, no, right, you don't need to say that. No, that's too exciting for you. You might have a palpitation with too much action.
Yeah.
And then we get that dumb chase scene. What the hell was that?
I don't know. I kind of dug that. Just it's cool. Like the thing I liked about this movie, and this was part of it, is the whole peek behind the curtain of, you know, the shit you don't typically see when movies are made. Like getting to go through the lot, getting to see Bates Motel, all that shit. Like I thought that shit was cool. Was it necessary? No. Like it really wasn't, but I dug it for that reason.
But this is already an overbloated film,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not helping. Like that's just it's just fluff pieces for the sake of fluff piecing. Here, dumb horror fans, here's some nostalgia for you.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what that was.
I just thought it was just overdone again, and just turning up and then getting escorted off, like a quick scene there. But these are the scenes that he's really packing out, and then the fun scenes he's not. I don't know, man. And he chases her. What happens next? I'm just kind of.
Let's see. So after the chase scene,
she ends up in the bar, but I can't.
Yeah, so basically she sets up essentially his hit because, you know, he showed his cards, like, and, you know, basically she showed hers by getting out of the car when she realized he was following her and beating the fuck out of him, which was great.
That was a good, once again, that was a good scene.
Yeah, no, that was great. And the extent of that made sense because that is the kind of thing where you're not going to hang on that. You're going to get out, beat the fuck out of him to get the point across, and then fuck off. So that pacing with that, cool. That worked for me. But yeah, like, so she sets up, you know, she hits up her lawyer, she hits up the dude that works security there, I guess, and they're gonna take care of this motherfucker. So she does everything in her power to entice him to follow her, and then he does. He falls right into the fucking trap. He thinks he's got the upper hand, and as he's getting ready to shoot, he gets fucking hit in the back of the head with a bat, and god damn it, that scene of watching him fall like, you know, bag of bricks, amazing. Like, I loved that. You could almost feel the thud when he hit the ground. And then, yeah,
and then we get the scene in the car crush.
Fuck yes. That was great.
I would understand that the thing was completely pancaked, the blood gushing out, but when it's like a bit there.
Well, I mean, you got to figure there's still the seats and shit, and, you know, the metal. Like, he's about this thick at that point, even without it getting crushed completely. Like, he's fucking done. So I don't know. I fucking loved that scene. I thought it was great.
It's just, I don't know. I wanted to like it until the blood gushing out was a bit much. Because
what do you want? Like a little sploop? Like, come the fuck on.
Yeah,
that was great seeing that much blood.
I wanted to see the actually door pop a bit and see him inside.
There wouldn't be anything to see at that point, though.
Big gloopy mess actually absorbed into the upholstery.
I don't know. If you're bitching about how much blood there was, I feel like seeing that, you'd probably still be bitching.
I think it was just, I'm just not feeling it, honestly. I'm just, at this point, I'm just kind of like, yeah, okay, yeah.
That's when the movie brought me back. I was on board when that shit happened.
But then she doesn't bring anybody to go meet the actual killer.
Yeah, that was
like, she has a whole fucking gang to take out a Wheatley PI that she already knows she can beat the shit out of. But she doesn't bring anybody.
Yeah, I thought that a little weird, but, you know, whatever.
And then the dumb cops.
I mean, at least they were tailing her.
Yeah.
So, you know, they were there, and that was a thing.
And that cable car is the only way to get up. Like,
that would be so fucking annoying, man.
That would drive me mental.
Like, fuck that.
No,
that's like, you think about it, it's like, that's the only way to get up there. Bullshit. How does food get delivered? How does furniture get delivered? No, there's a back road somewhere.
Yeah.
But I guess for dramatic effect, you have to go up the gondola.
Yeah. And surprise, we find out who the killer is. Like, that wasn't telegraphed from the start.
Right. And it just kind of makes the scene of him watching her stripped even worse. And it's like, dude. And the thing is, like, it's fully believable because people like that are fucking disgusting. But
how many times of our mega church friends been caught sniffing coke off genitals of underage people? You know, they're fucking deviants. The ones that virtue signal the most. The shiniest good gag badge hides the darkest shadow, as they say, or I say anyway.
Yeah. Definitely some evil motherfuckers.
I just think it as a reveal was a bit ridiculous because it's already telegraphed. I think, I don't know, random cult, if this was the whole cult and just randomly turning up, kind of repent Maxine and then Maxine not wanting to tell anybody who they were. I just feel like the whole thing was mishandled.
Yeah, I gotta disagree. I think it made sense, and it made sense as to why they were there. Because, I mean, his whole thing was trying to find her. And he was just going through other bitches in the meantime. Because he was making his own movie.
Yeah. And then it just turned into, like, I think it has to be the dumbest shootout ever. Like, it just felt dumb.
It was pretty mediocre for me.
It's just, yeah. How did the police chopper know her name? Did they watch their movies too?
I mean, obviously, she's a well-known porn actress. I've seen the top of that head before. Holy shit, I know that.
Maxine, I've seen you. Like, don't do it. Yeah, fucking.
Yeah. I mean, it could also be the fact that the detectives that were following her called it in and said, "Hey, we're following this bitch." So that would make sense. But yeah, we'll joke about it being, that they're fans of her work. Yeah, that's where the movie kind of lost me. Like the ending, it should have.
There's no way she wasn't doing time inside for shooting an unarmed person on the ground,
right,
in the head.
Right. I mean,
there's no way.
I don't know. Self-defense laws are weird, and this is a different time in America, so I don't know. But like, that's where the movie should have ended. It should have been, her having that, making up that premiere in her mind, and then cuts back to her talking to her dad, and then it should have been blast to the face, cut to black, movie's over.
Yeah,
that would have been the best way to end that. But to have it end with the scene of her head that she was doing live cast for being on the bed, like that was so
great. That was the best thing. At least it made sense.
Dude, that was so fucking boring and
fuck, you're silly. You're just, this is great.
This
is where it all tied together and made sense.
I didn't like that. I seriously, it should have ended with the dad being shot.
Yes, I know. I'm just doing what you've done to me. That's
okay, gotcha.
Review.
Yeah, ending was weird. I wasn't a fan of how it ended.
I don't know whether because I've had a shit weekend of movies. Like, I think watching this and amongst it has just really soured me.
Probably, and that's understandable. Like I went and saw a movie last week, and I was forced to sit through the Crow trailer, and that almost ruined the experience of the movie for me because of how fucking terrible that was. I can't imagine actually sitting through the movie itself.
I was ready to walk out at the opening credits. Like, I mean, it was that bad. I was ready to walk out of the opening credits.
I fucking believe it.
The opening credits alone are enough to make you hate that movie.
Yeah, I believe it.
Maybe that's how much damage that movie's done to me that I just hate everything right now.
I mean,
but I just didn't.
Stands to reason.
I didn't feel this movie at the best of times. No, I wasn't. I feel no need to watch it again or any of the other ones.
Yeah,
I really don't.
I agree. Like I said, I've seen it. I can say that I've seen it. I'll never watch it again. Just like the other two, I could give a fuck less. Like, if I want to watch a Ty West movie, I'll put in The Innkeepers and be happy as a pig in shit the whole time.
Fair one. Like, I'll stick the Evil Dead trilogy on for the millionth time. No bother.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I'll watch...
That's chicken noodle soup for the soul.
Like, yeah, I'll watch Renfield. In fact, I need to watch Renfield again to cheer myself up.
Fucking love that movie.
Yeah,
that's one I'm surprised I haven't bought yet. I don't know why.
I've got it on Blu-ray. I'm like, that's my cheer up movie. If I need to cheer myself up, in fact, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna actually add that to the shopping list. Yeah, that movie's so good.
Yeah,
so much better than it had any right to be.
Exactly. So I'm going to have to do something like that because
you need a palate cleanser, definitely.
This weekend,
or just like 5 hours of just cute puppy and kitty videos. Just that's what you need to do to wipe all that shit out of your brain.
Well, talking about that, there, I'm on again later on tonight. I'm doing Elfin Lied, so we're doing a bit of horror anime. So, and that's a fun series actually. I'm looking forward to talking about that.
Nice.
But yeah, this movie didn't feel it.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Over-explained, over-dragged out, over-telegraphed. It's almost like it's made for non-horror fans to explain what horror tropes are.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it didn't need to happen. Like, the trilogy didn't need to happen. X was a unique enough movie, quirky movie on its own, get legs. This whole trilogy thing, I'm not banned into.
Yeah. Well, it's like I almost wonder what this would have been if COVID hadn't happened, because I mean that's all Pearl was. It was a product of the like 2 or 3 week lockdown, and it was like, fuck, we're wasting time, we're wasting money, we've got everybody here, everybody's been quarantined together, what the fuck can we do on our own before we start getting back to the movie proper? So God, and putting it like that, I want to like Pearl so much more just because of the fact of what it was. But it was just I couldn't stand that fucking movie.
And here's the problem. I'm seeing there's no difference between Pearl and Maxine at this point. Maxine's playing Pearl and Pearl's playing Maxine.
Well, that's the thing.
These two movies.
That's also my problem is Mia Goth. Mia Goth is one of those characters, because anything that I've seen her in, it's the same fucking person. And there's very few actors that can pull that off and are like worthwhile actors. She's not one of them, like, at all. I can't. She's hard to look at because of the fucking weird eyebrows. I know that says a lot coming from me. And her voice, it's like nails on a chalkboard. I can't do it.
I haven't seen her in anything else, to be honest.
There was I don't remember what the fuck it was called, but there was a movie about one of the Skarsgårds being a tourist somewhere, and she's in it. And yeah, she was the same person, just the annoying fucking. It was almost like she was trying to act like she was Sherry Moon Zombie, but still acting like she was her. It wasn't good.
Oh well, we will happily forget this one.
Absolutely. I mean, the Kevin Bacon squish kebab, like, that's going to stick in my mind for a hot minute because that was great. I will agree it was over the top, but I loved it. Other than that, yeah, this movie, it fucking sucked.
I think it's a jarring thing. The over-the-top moments don't fit in with anything else. Like, if you're going to do over-the-top, make the whole movie over-the-top and have a sense of fun about it.
Yeah.
But when you're, like, doing deadly serious, artsy-fartsy scenes and fucking exposition to the wazoo, then the over-the-top bits go, what are you doing?
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, it's just disjointed. That's my problem. It's a disjointed movie.
Very.
That's hard to get in. I actually don't ask for much in a movie.
Believe it or not, folks.
Believe it or not, give me a through story. Start, middle, end. Give me a story that I can follow. And give me characters. Everything else I can be very forgiving towards. Like, fuck's sake, we've some of the dumbest shit out there I've laughed at and loved. You know what I mean? Because I got the fact that it was full of heart.
I mean, God, we were just talking about how great Renfield is.
Yeah.
On paper, that's a stupid fucking movie.
And even the trailer, I was a bit worried when I watched, going, "Oh god, this is going to be daft." It's going to be shit.
Yeah, that one I was so worried about, just because it's like, how serious are they trying to make Nicolas Cage in this? Because I think that would have been the end all be all. Like, he winked at the camera enough that it's like, oh, okay,
yeah, we're having fun. But I got it, and I just, like I said, absolutely adore that movie.
Yeah.
So I'm
absolutely.
no pretentious arsehole. I'm actually quite a simple creature. Maybe it's pretentious arseholiness rubs me up the wrong way, because it usually is a veneer for lack of talent.
Yeah.
Usually when the nose goes up in the air, you're dealing with an absolute moron. Because if someone has achieved stuff in life, guess what? They're usually down to earth. If someone's stuck up and using word soup and all that kind of stuff, they're trying to hide the fact that they're shit. They're trying to, and they're going into their little echo chamber because, let's be honest, nobody else wants to talk to those sort of people anyway. So it just automatically, when I get that sense about something, it rubs me up the wrong way, and I'm not playing.
Yeah, that's understandable.
This movie did that. The more I think about it, and the fact that I'm still burning from 2 shit movies as well, because I had to watch Romulus again.
I am going to see it hopefully tonight or tomorrow, specifically just so I can get the donuts that are being made as a promotional tool for the movie.
But we don't even get the friggin' nice popcorn buckets.
Oh, fuck, we don't either, because of scalpers and shit. Those cocksuckers that go buy up like 30 buckets to sell them on eBay. Fucking bullshit. I want the dick-shaped popcorn bucket, for fuck's sake.
We glow in the dark. You know what I mean? That would have been fun. Just to get that. You didn't get that. And over here, we don't need, like I said, we get the shit ones. Like, fucking, it's like you're being insulted. So we get the knockoff over here. Like, here, pay pig. Pay twice. It's like, no.
Yeah, some bullshit.
Yeah. I hate the world right now.
Yeah, I feel you there.
But anyway, I'm back on tonight. Blaine and I are talking about Elfin Light, so a bit of anime sexy goodness, which is
little bit of a change from this.
Yeah, cheer me up. That might cheer me up, because that was a bit of bright sunshine in my dark weekend of crap.
Hell yeah.
There you go, folks. Thanks for everybody that endured this with us. As you can see, Cameron's been really impressed.
Yeah, it was.
It was
judged. Definitely a movie.
I feel judged, actually. This is the most judged I've ever felt during a review.
No,
You don't even like the fucking thing, really?
The thing is, I didn't hate this as much as you did. There were parts that made sense to me that you didn't get. So that's where the disconnect between the two of us is. Again, I'll never watch this shit again. I've got no desire at all. There were so many better things I could have been doing at that time that I watched it, but that's how I chose to spend my night. And
the dice decided, by the way, because we're now rolling dice to pick movies. And that must be at the side.
Yeah, that is what happened. It was the dice. God damn it.
Put that dice in dice jail.
Yeah, definitely.
The power of the D6 compels us.
Right.
And on that happy note, thanks everyone for tuning in. And until next time, keep updated with the channel. do the typical things, and remember to keep it creepy.
Keep
Keep
it
it horror.
horrific.